reciting the creed, we recite the creed at Mass. So obviously the creed is a huge foundation of our faith. If you maybe just say a few words just about the legacy of the creed and what the creed has meant to the church throughout the history of the church.
Sure. You know, one of the ways to really pay attention to what the creed does for us is think about its role in the Mass. Okay, so here I'm going to talk mostly about the Nicene Creed. The Apostles' Creed is used much more in sort of baptismal things and in some prayer things, but in the Mass, right, we hear the gospel read, and then we hear a homily, and then we get up and we recite the creed, right? That is, and we say, "I believe." Right, this is how we begin. I believe. And if you think about it, what that says is when you hear the gospel, it requires a response. Your response is to say, I believe or I don't believe. We get up and we say, I believe what I've heard, right? And because we believe then, right, that leads into the next element of the Mass, which is the liturgy of the Eucharist. Because we believe, we're also thankful. Eucharist just means thanks, right? So it's a really important link in the Mass between what we've heard and then the thanks we're about to give and what we're about to receive as a gift from Christ. It's also, in the Mass, also allows us to interpret what we've heard, right? So if we hear a homily or we hear something in Scripture and it makes us think, wow, maybe there's two gods, the Creed says, no, you've heard wrong. The proper interpretation of this is that there's one God, right? Or if you think that Jesus is just a regular human being like you and me, then you've missed something, right? So the Creed also helps us interpret that. It also is, in that sense, the source of the unity by which we approach the Eucharistic table, right? Because we have these shared beliefs, which we've just proclaimed, that's what allows us to be unified, these shared beliefs, as we enter into the Eucharistic table. So I think, if we pay attention to what we're doing at the Mass and how it links the different elements of it, I think that's part of the legacy, right? It gives us some boundaries for what we can say and what we don't say, and the kind of things that we believe, and then the kind of things that we do following that. Some people view the Creed, I think, in a negative way. It's too restrictive.
Right.
And it's just a summary. I mean, it points to what's in Scripture, it helps us interpret Scripture, but it actually...
But it's not exhaustive either.
It's not exhaustive, right? I mean, it's a place to begin. It's a place of reflection. And actually then becomes a kind of a place of freedom. In some sense, it limits what we can say, but it also opens up wide avenues for thinking about creation, right? What does that mean? Or thinking about why did Jesus suffer? There's actually sort of lots of theories about that, theological theories about that, and the church has never canonized them. There's several different ways of thinking about atonement, and so that opens that up. What we do know is that Jesus suffered, right? Now we have to think about why. What did that look like? And why would God do that? Those are the kind of questions we were dealing with.